The meeting is now recording and you can start.
Okay, I left all my notes and stuff at home, so I'm present. Ron Bryce is present, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Chief?
Yes, I'm here. Commander Bailey is here. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Victoria Hernandez is here.
Pardon me?
I'm here, Victoria Hernandez.
Okay.
So
it's first time we've done it this way, but that's beside the point.
Want to start with the active agenda, which would be approving the minutes of the February 12th, 2020 regular meeting.
Okay. I don't have them in front of me, so I'm sitting out here in my pickup truck right now.
Okay.
I don't think we had anything on the agenda that needed to be taken care of. Anyway, it was just just confrontation.
Correct.
Ron, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion been made. I'll second it.
Okay. Second on the agenda is to discuss and merge 2 entry-level registrars for the police department.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
All right. Chief Bailey?
Well, good afternoon, everybody. We called this meeting just to kind of keep you guys up to date as to how our testing process is going so far, and some of the challenges that we've run into. And this one is one of the things that we need to have. Basically, we need to let civil service know how we're going to merge a couple of these tests, meaning the national testing network that we once went with. We no longer are part of that program anymore. However, the last volley of testing did have some significant, or had some valid candidates. So we are trying
Correct.
to incorporate them with our local test. And so that's what we're going to talk to you about today. And Commander Bailey is going to talk about that and some of the criteria he thought would be best for merging, and the event that we had a tiebreaker, how are we going to make that happen? So anyhow, I'm going to turn a little bit over to him.
Thank you, Chief. Good afternoon, everyone. We've going through the in-house testing recently. We had a very large number of candidates initially apply. Unfortunately, the testing process was done on a date that turned out to be somewhat of a blizzard, and limited some of the candidates from coming down, but we did have 18 of them that still attended, and of those, we ended up with 12 candidates that passed the written exam. That written exam was through IOS, which is Industrial and Organizational Solutions. Now, on the other hand, we had a list of 6 candidates that were still pending within the National Testing Network, and with the assistance of Mrs. Hernandez, she called each of those candidates and found out that we have only 1 candidate remaining that is still interested. The others have either withdrawn their names or have found employment elsewhere. So what I did is I started sitting down and trying to come up with an idea of how we would merge these 2 lists together that would not penalize one group or the other. And what I thought was to basically look at the written exam just like we do our physical fitness exams, where it's a pass-fail as long as you meet the criteria. So what I came up with, first of all, is number 1, the written exam, regardless of the company used, or the score shall be determined on a pass-fail scoring matrix using a 70% as the minimum passing score. Now, providing that they made it beyond that, those candidates, number 2 is those candidates who have successfully passed either the iOS or the NTN written exam and the Washington State Criminal Justice Training Commission Certified Physical Agility Test will be allowed to participate in the oral board interviews. Number 3, the total score determining placement in the overall eligibility list will come solely from the oral board interview. In the event, number 4 is in the event of a tie in that oral board interview, the written test scores will be compared based on a percentage, and the candidate with the higher scoring percentage will be listed as the higher scoring candidate. Now, this process is to be used only on this one this one merged list, and that is solely because I don't anticipate us having candidates from multiple sources in the future. This is just something that we thought it was shut off, and it didn't. We still had candidates that were coming through. So with that, I open it up to you gentlemen for any questions that you may have.
No, the only question I have is you know, you have one for the last test that is still certified and qualified, and then you have one from this, you have 3 from this testing or 4 from this testing, correct?
No, sir. We have 12 candidates from the test that we did in-house, and we have only 1 candidate that's still interested from the other testing
Correct.
cycle.
Okay.
So the game plan is to merge those 2 together and just be above board on everything that we do and try and make it as fair as possible so that one is not penalized based upon a harder or easier testing cycle.
Correct. I personally don't see a problem with what we have, considering that, you know, that we only have 1 individual that we're talking about. So I think it should be okay, don't you, Ron?
Yeah, I think it's going to work, Guy.
Pardon me?
It's being very fair, so that's what we need to be about.
Yeah, I think you know, he still meets the criteria, and he passed the test. I think it should go. And unfortunately, this transaction is just one of those things that happen. So it probably won't happen in the future because we won't be changing again, I hope. Correct, Chief?
Well, the one that we were talking about is the second one that you were in reference to.
Correct.
That we're just talking about.
Can you clarify that? I guess I don't understand your question there, Mr. Price.
Okay, Ron was saying, you know, go ahead and do the 2 different outfits. We had one guy that you said from the other testing group, we need to be fair, bring him in and then score him accordingly.
Right,
Yeah,
there's just the one candidate there.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that'd be the best to do.
And as I say, that was the second item of the list you gave us.
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
Second item on the list.
Okay, item 2 is what we were just talking about.
Correct.
Okay, Ron, what I'd like to do is make a motion that we approve the second item that was talked about.
Well, I approve that too, sir.
Okay.
Is there any other questions on this at this time?
Mm.
That was all
I
we
don't
had,
think
unless
so.
you gentlemen have any other questions.
No, I don't foresee us doing a big change like this again. Do you?
No.
As far as
No,
testing?
actually, the written exam and staying local produced over 30 candidates. So,
Yeah, I've seen that.
you know, I think it shows a great level of involvement here in the community, and might be something that we can hang on to some of those kids in the future.
Yes, sir, I agree. Yeah. It's always
Out of curiosity, how many officers are we looking at bringing on?
We're looking at a minimum of 4 and a maximum of 6.
Okay, I was just curious, no problem.
So the next is items from committee members.
I have nothing at this time.
Items from staff members.
None from us. We just want to just keep you informed as to how things are going here, and that the hiring process is proceeding. We had a little bit of a stall because of the COVID scenario, and we had to respond to that accordingly. So we've got a way to get around the to actually infuse the physical testing, which is scheduled for this Saturday, and we'll get that knocked out, which will complete the first phase of testing.
Okay, where's that going to be at, Chief?
That'll be at Sunnyside High School.
Okay.
And
Well, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, then we're scheduled for oral board interviews next week as well. So.
It sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
So we have our next
Okay.
meeting on May 15th at 5:30.
When's that?
May 13th at
May
5:30.
13th. Hopefully
Via-
we'll get
via
things
conference.
Well, we may
Okay,
be
Mr.
requesting one sooner than that in order to ratify this testing list once we get this stuff moving.
I
Okay.
can understand that. Okay.
Okay.
Is there any other business that we need to get taken care of?
Nope, I think you just need to close it out.
Okay. Mr. Price, are you ready to
It
close
was
out?
good talking to all you guys, and be careful out there.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
I've
you.
been
We
staying
appreciate
home.
it.
Okay. Be safe.
All right, guys. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Meeting
Bye.
adjourned.
Bye.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Victoria.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
You have a good evening.